What's going on, guys? It's Kyle with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be doing the full review of the Sleipner. This is a knife that was sent in to the channel from Midgards-Messer. That is who makes this knife or who sells this knife. I believe most of their folders are actually built by Concept. And guys, I've had some Concept knives on the channel. They've been okay. But all the folders that I've had that are sold and designed by Midgards-Messer, a German company, have been really, really good. I have had the Viking, the full size, the mini Viking, the Bombeer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these right. The Sleipner. I'm assuming that I'm saying this right. I'm just bad at this kind of stuff. But this was sent in by them, and the reason that they sent this one and a few other different knives. One of the main ones that I wanted to check out was this bad boy, which is called the Valhalla. Definitely stay tuned for the full review of that. It's a little bit more cumbersome to carry this than it is this guy. As you can see, massive and then, pretty chunky, but not very big. And so the full review is coming on that guy. Really, really have been enjoying. And that knife, that was the one that I was like, holy crap, that's totally up my alley. It's like a little pocket sword, and I just fucking love it. But this one actually has a pocket clip. That one doesn't. And so I carried this, and I've been carrying it off and on ever since I got it. And it's a very interesting, different knife, right? You just don't see knives like this very often. And, I mean, look at it. It's kind of funky. It has this weird hole there. So how was it? Well, okay, so it's got a few things that, there's a few things that I usually like in a folding knife when I carry it. I like to have a flickable, middle finger flickable knife and a fall shut action. This does not do that, but it's not designed to. This, I was told by, when I did my unboxing, that in Germany, I'm assuming in some areas, might be the whole country, that most folding knives have to be opened with two hands. And I really hope that's not the case. If it is, I'm sorry, that really sucks. And so this is definitely one of those that designed to open with two hands, right? But guys, I'm telling you, especially now that I've flicked this thing a lot and played with it a lot, this thing has a couple of different opening mechanisms that made it quite fun to carry, even though it's not my cup of tea as far as, really being able to fidget with. I really, really enjoyed it. So here's a couple of things right off the bat that I can show you here. So on a one-handed deployment, it does have a fuller. Okay? So can you flick this thing out with the reverse flick? Yes, however, it is all wrist, really, and not really the flick. So basically, I put my finger in the fuller there, and I flick it out like that. It's basically all wrist that is doing that, and I opened it that way. Now, it's actually gotten a lot better and a lot smoother as time has gone on. This is like, it broke in beautifully, so I'm able to do that, and that's usually how I opened the knife. However, another one-handed open is I'll use the pinch grip here, pull it out, and then I'll use, you see these little things here? I'll use my thumb on that guy, see if I can show it like this, and then roll it out like that. That really works amazing, and I don't think it's actually designed to put your thumb there and roll it out, but it fucking works, and it works really, really well. One thing that I was, in my videos, I was like, I'm not sure if your finger is supposed to go in there or not. Apparently, that is the design. Kyle Lanfear was like, yeah, dummy, that's where you're supposed to put your finger. Okay, I really didn't know because the ergonomics on this thing work really well without the hole. But yeah, that's the way. So it does have this little area right here, and I was like, no way, that's not a flipper tab, and it's not a flipper tab. However, with the same kind of wrist action, I can use that flipper tab to get the blade out of there and then use wrist to actually get it out. Now, it's not the easiest in the world, and you see that, right there where this lockup portion is, it's rounded off here, and so if you put your finger there and flip it out, it actually works. Didn't work whenever I first got it, but it's broken in beautifully, and now I'm able to open this thing a few different ways, and that was really exciting because I just didn't like two-handed opening this knife all the time, and now that it's broken in, it makes it so much more fun. It's not ideal for my particular carry, but it made it to where I really enjoyed carrying it once I broke it in like that. Now, it's not a fall shut action by no means. It's a shaky, but I don't even really shake it. So when I close this, I basically do the whole that. That's how I close it. Not the most exciting closing, but it's so daggum smooth. Running on very huge phosphor bronze washers, you can kind of see it in there behind there. But of course, I did not take this apart. I wouldn't even know where to begin, really. I'm taking this apart. I'm just not that guy anyway. But, it reminds me a lot of the Viking, the mini Viking, as far as the machining. This has a wonderful, wonderful frag pattern. And then plain tie on the back. But, dude, look at this. Look at all the chamfer, the rounding, just the wonderful machining job that they do. Look at that big, thick handle, man. That thing is thick. And then, of course, you got that pocket clip. So the machining on this, top notch. It is solid as a fucking rock. Like no movement. You could take a freaking crane and hang it. I mean, it's not moving. It's not going anywhere. Lockup is awesome. Has a really nicely designed lock bar and lock bar insert. The lock bar is really easy to get to and move out of the way. It's just really well done, and this design is just so funky. Every time I carried this thing and I busted it out to cut something, people were like, oh my God, what is that? And I was so excited to tell them that it's a company called Midgards-Messer. Now, some of the guys that I carried this with, and they were like, okay, that looks kind of like, that looks like very similar to the one you used to have, which is the Viking. And people just loved and went crazy over the Viking because it's this big, obnoxious folder, right? And I just love that. It makes just my juices flowing. And this one's not as big, but it's just as funky, right? I mean, look at that. It just looks mean just sitting there. So while we have it open, let's go ahead and talk about ergonomics. So I gotta be honest, my cat, yes, I have a cat, wasn't my idea, just climbed up on my table. So if you hear something rustling around, that's this guy. Jesus, fucking cats. But ergonomically, okay, so I found myself mostly using this finger choil. And let me tell you, this grip was amazing. It's so comfortable, no hot spots. The pocket clip, the rounding and chamferings around the handle just make this so ergonomic. And with this Warney blade, it is so utilitarian. A lot of people don't like the kind of angled blade to handle there. I really like that. I had that on the Spyderco Tough, a couple of other different knife models, and it really puts my hand in a position, especially when I'm cutting cardboard, in a good spot. I really feel comfortable, and it's almost like more intuitive for me to do my cuts whenever it's like that. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but yeah. But then, of course, you have this hole, and it's not as comfortable in this grip, but it's definitely comfortable enough for me to be able to do, whatever I got to do in this grip. I just felt way more comfortable, and maybe it's because it's a lot weirder, and this is how I'm used to holding a knife. It's probably why. I just felt really comfortable there. But yes, I did hold it in this grip. Matter of fact, in this cool reverse grip with my pinky going in there, like I feel like I'm ready. Come at me, bro. Come at me. Not a tactical knife, obviously, but, and I don't know a damn thing about knife fights, and I would die very quickly in a knife fight, but it feels really good in this grip. Like I've got a really nice firm grip. My pinky's in there. Feels like it's spreading apart or anything. It's really, I mean, I feel like I'm ready to go. Like the knife and my fist are all part of one. And so I really dug that, even though I don't ever use it, other than just kind of in the house going, one of those crazy guys. I don't do that at the store like that one guy. Jesus, mama. But it was really fun. Once I figured out that I could do that, you have this nicely done lanyard hole at the top, which puts this overall length, pretty much like 7 3/4 or something from tip to the very tip of this. So not a huge knife, definitely wide this way and pretty thick that way. But ergonomically, it was really, it surprised the heck out of me. I loved holding this knife in my hand, the jimping on there. Very, very nice and very tall. That way, my thumb lands on the jimping here in the finger troll area, and I'm so locked in. I mean, this thing's not going anywhere. And I'm telling you guys, this blade is a package opening beast and a cardboard cutting monster. I freaking loved cutting with this, and holy crap, did I... Like, we're gonna go ahead and do some cut tests, but damn it, I always do this. I always forget to do my shit. Like, I've got all my cutting stuff here, but I don't have my cardboard. I don't have my little cardboard piece. I don't know what I did with it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut just real fast, just to kind of show you. Yeah, okay, I was not prepared, but you know, whatever. Well, I'm never prepared, right? I always forget this part because I'm a doofus. All right, so I didn't leave myself a very good room there, but for the paracord, I was actually using the knife to cut the paracord, and it cuts paracord beautifully. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this rougher stuff because this is my knife. I don't usually cut the twisted sisal rope whenever it's not my knife, but this is my knife because they sent it to me because they're awesome, and so I am going to try to cut the twisted sisal rope with the Sleipner. Oh, I swear I'm horrible at pronouncing this. Go ahead and say if I can. Oh yeah, there we go. The tough stuff freaking cuts amazing. Gee whiz, I cannot believe that I forgot to do this. Anyway, we're gonna cut a little piece of cardboard off my box that we have here. Sorry about this, guys, but yes, this is a cardboard cutting machine. Cuts through it like a butter. I was like looking for boxes to destroy when I had this in my pocket. And that's what this is for me. This is a like a badass utility knife that nobody else has, that is built like a tank. And I mean, seriously, this would survive the apocalypse is how tough this is. And then, of course, you see this? That's what I use the hole for mainly. It's not very fidgety as far as the flick and the close. But I would just pull it out of my pocket while I'm walking around the shop. And I would do this. And so much fun. And it's quieter, actually, if I'm flicking knives. You know, if I'm going around the shop and I'm doing this and closing. You know, the clickety noise that I love. Not everybody loves that around whenever I'm doing it at work. But I can just sit there, flip this guy. And it's so much fun. Almost all of their knives are limited runs, okay? So they have limited runs of about 200 for each model. This one is number 80 out of 200. And the blade steel that they use is CPM D2. Now, CPM D2 is the powder form of D2. It's not the Chinese D2 that you know. It is a better D2. However, you have to keep in mind that it is definitely not stainless. So I carried this knife and I had some oil on it, but you can see just right there where my finger is, you know, some little light surface rust that I can get off really easy. But keep in mind that is a thing with CPM D2 that will happen, especially if you live in a more humid area, more moist area. That's going to happen. But of course, the titanium and the stainlessness of everything else is good to go. The hardware on it is good. It's got deep tooling in it, so that's nice. I kind of thought maybe this swung around, but it's this very solid. Look how thick that is, that backspacer. I mean, it weighs like 8.07 ounces. So for this size of package, it's got a little bit of weight to it, but you know that I don't care. The freaking Viking that I carried all the time is, it's like 11 ounces or 13 ounces. I can't remember, but it's heavy. I love it. I actually love bigger, heavier knives. It's my thing. It may not be yours, but if it's not, guess what? You don't have to carry it in your pocket because you can get, let me get this in here, this thing. This is a belt buckle. So it comes in, black and stuff. They sent me the orange for this and for the sheath for the Valhalla. But it goes on a belt, and then this is your belt buckle. Now, it's kind of a novelty thing for me. I did not have a belt that actually allowed this kind of closure. I carry a gun everywhere I go, so the belts that I have are dedicated gun belts, and they don't have the detachable belt thing. But I've got a friend who does, and so I asked him just to thread it through there and see if it worked well with this, and it worked. He was able to actually, he's thinner than me. I've got a big belly hanging over me, but he was actually able to, while he was wearing it, actually able to take the knife and move it out. So the way that this works is it has this post. This is all 3D printed plastic, and then it has these magnets that keep the retention and snaps it into place, and it holds it very, very well. It's not coming out unless you want it to come out. I think it's a genius idea because these guys, they do a lot. And over at Midgards-Messer, that was just something that they were like, hey, I mean, I'm sure it was an afterthought. Like, this is the knife we want, but wouldn't it be cool if this happened? And they made it happen. So you got to give the guys props. They really know what they're doing over there. They think outside the box. And I'm really, really happy that I'm able to experience this. I saw this once. I saw the Valhalla, and I was like, man, those things are freaking awesome. Now, you're talking, I don't know what the transfer rate is. It's like 299 euros, and I don't remember what that is for US dollars, $340, I think. And I think if you go to their website, they might have a couple in stock, and then White Mountain Knives has them or did have these in stock. So if you want one of these, you need to go jump on it, because like I said, there are only 200 of these things made. And guys, especially after I broke this thing in, I wanted this in my pocket. If I really had to do cardboard cutting, it was just a thing. We have a shipping department at work, and as soon as we got in boxes to put in the dumpster, I was like, can I do it, please? Let me do it. Which I'm usually the guy who wants to do that anyway, because I'm always carrying knives and trying to test them out. But with this, like, we had a big, huge box that a big toy thing came from my son, and he wanted me to make it into like a little lid and stuff. So just cutting this, like, it's like seriously a 6-foot box of cutting this little door in it where it flows up. Just makes me happy. And I really, really have enjoyed carrying this thing, and it's so different and so unique that I don't have anything else like it. So the fact that it doesn't have those fidget factors for me, surprisingly, I don't even care about, because of the uniqueness of it and the well-built quality that you get from a Midgards-Messer design. So let's go ahead, just so we can get some size comparisons. Let's flip the camera around, and I'll put it against some of the other knives we have in the collection. I have nothing like this, so we're just going to do some size comparisons and go over just a few little specs so you can get a good closer look behind the camera action of what the Sleipner looks like. I'm so horrible. Sorry about these names, but just look at this gorgeous beast. All right, guys, let's see if we can get a little bit closer look at this knife. Look at that wonderfully done frag pattern. It's symmetrical. It's well chamfered all the way around it. It's not too deep, but it does add grip. The machining around this big bevel that you have, the way that they've put this thing together. See if we can get a good or a better look at these. See those big old phosphor bronze washers that work all the way, that go all the way around this. That, like I said, has broken in so beautifully and makes it so freaking smooth. Now that, especially that I can do that, just makes me happy. Look at this side with the plain tie, and there's that pocket clip. Now, I didn't really talk about the pocket clip while it was turned around, so let's talk about it now. This pocket clip, it sits pretty well in your pocket. It has this area, so basically, the knife like this, it's straight this way. So the knife sits in and pulls it away so you can actually get your hand in your pocket. Very genius design, very sturdy pocket clip. Now, it does, whenever you're trying to get it in your pocket, you've got to kind of force it in, but once it's in, it is very, very secure. It's not going to go anywhere. We could use just a little bit more ramp to get it in the pocket a little bit easier, but that was something that I only really noticed in my very thick pants, having a little bit of hard time trying to get it in the pocket. And then, of course, like I said, you don't even have to use the pocket clip. You can use this thing. Of course, I love the pocket clip. The fact that this had a pocket clip, that's how I carried it. Go ahead and show you this. There is not a flipper tab, but like I said, I can of course, underneath the camera. I can use that as leverage to get that blade out, but that's really not what this is designed for, as far as I know. But look at there, because now that it's actually broken in, just could not do that on the unboxing, can do that now. There is their logo, and their logo again with that. Now this blade, God, this blade. Oh, wonderful stone wash. This is the same stone wash that was on the other blades that I have from Midgards-Messer, and I love it. It's a wonderful finish because it does hide some wear, scratches if you use this blade, and I did use this blade. It does have a pretty nice tip where it's not too dainty, so you can actually do stabbing tasks. Very, very tall, flat grind up until you get to that fuller, and then you've got a flat up here, and then this wonderful jimping. I really, really enjoyed this jimping. It's just very, very pleasing because it's grippy without being sharp. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and put it in the circle. As you can see, as far as lengthwise and the way that this thing kind of angles down, it's not, abnormally huge for by any means. It's like 7 3/4 inch from tip to there. It's got about a 236,000 stick blade stock on it, so it's pretty beefy blade stock with a handle thickness of about 591. Sorry if you German guys are watching and it's all metric. I'm the standard, man. It's standard around here is inches, so that's what I'm going with. Apologize for that. And then you've got 20 thousandths behind the edge, which actually is really nice because of that really tall blade. You get a really tall grind, and you can get 20 thousandths behind the edge, and it's so damn sharp. I mean, it came super screaming sharp, and with CPM D2, it actually does hold an edge for quite a while. Like I said, the only thing is it does show a little bit of surface rust. Let me see if I can find that spot. See, right there. See, I've almost always just rubbed it off, but it is a thing, and I love the fact that they've got this stone wash on there on this blade. It just makes it look really good. And like I said, 8 ounces, a little over 8 ounces for the weight. It's just killer. So let's go ahead and put it up against some other ones, right? So let's go ahead and put it up against something that we all probably already know. Here it is against the Spyderco Shaman. Kind of do pivot to pivot, but you really don't have that here. But yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. What about the Kaiser Sheepdog? Another kind of sheep's foot blade. You get a warning and a sheep's foot. But, not too far off there as far as length, right? Just a totally different ergonomic profile. This is ergonomic, but I'm telling you, this surprises the shit out of you how ergonomic it is using this handle with that big finger tool. It's so comfortable. You're not going to be able to really know what I'm talking about until you get one of these in hand, and I highly, highly recommend doing that. And then, of course, let's put it up against the other offering that we have from Midgards-Messer, the Bomber. Love this knife. This one running on bearings, a little bit more my speed as far as the fall shut action and the ability to use the fuller for the flick. Another very good ergonomic knife in CPM D2. This one number 67 of 200. This one number 80 of 200. So yeah, I mean, as far as a sizable knife, it is in the pocket because of the thickness and the width this way, but it's not too long. The pocket clip sits it at an angle to where you can get your hand in your pocket. So it really carried beautifully, even though it's a chunk of a knife. And, if you wear a belt with a belt buckle, I'm telling you, this right here looks like it'd be amazing. I just couldn't do it myself because I didn't have any belts. I didn't have anything that actually allowed me to do this. But it's really a genius design for this belt buckle because it holds it in so well. And I felt way heavier belt buckles than this, unfortunately. I'm from the South, so people like their belt buckles. And so those things are huge, large, and in charge. And this really did look like on my buddy. I didn't take any pictures. I don't know why I didn't take any pictures whenever he had this on him, because I am stupid. That's why. But yeah, that's about it. I love this knife. It was very surprising how much I like this knife. If you have an opportunity to get one of these, I highly recommend it. It's something so unique, so just kind of off the wall that nobody's going to have a knife like this in their collection unless they're just one of those crazy guys. Most of the knives you see with these crazy looks are nowhere near the quality and tough built just badassery that you get from Midgards-Messer, and that's what they're all about. Dirk over there makes all of his fixed blades by hand, and then these are outsourced to Concept, and they just do an excellent job. Matter of fact, I think they do a better job with Midgards-Messer knives than they do with their own product. I hate to say that, but I have never had any issues out of any of the Midgards-Messer knives made by Concept. And yeah, they're just kind of killing it over there. So, guys, if you have any questions on this knife, please let me know. Contact Midgards-Messer. They are awesome people over there. They will help you out. They, it's all, their website's in German, but you can push a button to make it all in English to kind of give you an idea on their pricing and the specs and stuff. But definitely hit them up. Check out the website. I think they still have a couple of these left in stock. And then, of course, White Mountain Knives also. Check them out because they carry their blades as well. And yeah, as always, man, stay safe in this absolutely crazy world that we are living in. And we will see you in the next one.